Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Roberts. We begin tonight in Inuvik, where a fire broke out earlier today at an apartment on Siku Crescent in Iqaluit. Emergency crews, including RCMP, firefighters, and ambulances, were on the scene this afternoon. Smoke was visible from a single apartment unit. RCMP blocked the street to ensure public safety and allow crews to work. The city says shortly before 3 p.m., the fire was under control and any further damage to the building was prevented. In the Yukon, Dawson City is still dealing with flooding from water main breaks. The main floor of the Westminster Hotel was submerged last Thursday after a water main busted right outside its front doors in Dawson City. There was another rupture across town the day before. Together, they've caused havoc. There are boil water advisories and frozen pipes in dozens of homes and businesses. That includes the iconic bar, The Pit. The manager says the place is still a mess and the high water mark is 3 feet. Everything below it is frozen. Crews haven't found the water break yet, so water continues to flow into the building.
She's still standing for a reason, so we're just going to continue on that path and keep it that way, considering how old this place is and also how huge it is. It's no small undertaking, that's for sure.
Montoya says the community has rallied behind the bar to help out, whether it's financially or otherwise. Yellowknife's Arctic Indigenous Wellness Foundation camp is in transition. It's ended one-on-one counseling and referred former and potential clients to other services. A board member with the foundation says camp staff and volunteers reached their limits or were aging out. And with intense demand over the past 8 years, it meant there wasn't time to train new staff.
The camp's not going anywhere. The physical space is still going to be used, and we're excited to examine what other kinds of programming that could be operationalized through this place with the transition of supporting other efforts. My hope is for the years to come that energy of the place will remain as this moves forward in the transition.
Redvers says they'll post details on their Facebook page, and they'll also post a list of resources and contact numbers. An early and intense influenza season is filling hospitals across the country. New numbers show overall flu activity is starting to dip, but as Jennifer LaGrassa shows, some ERs remain overwhelmed.
It's a waiting game for people in this Toronto emergency room. But it's a different story for staff, the flow of patients constant.
We're now feeling the impact of a lot of our admissions that resulted from influenza A. On our wards, our hospital is full.
And because of that, some patients are waiting on beds in hallways. A bad flu season has this hospital stretched thin, but there are signs of improvement. New national numbers from the Public Health Agency of Canada show the virus is easing up. As of early January, 27.1% of tests were positive, down from 33.3% last month. Hospitalizations have stabilized and started to fall, but people 65 years and older are still landing in the hospital at a higher rate, and the situation is different province to province.
We still have to see where things go. What would be different about this year compared to last year is that our cases are going up higher earlier.
Parts of British Columbia, Alberta, and Quebec saw widespread cases in recent weeks. Whether the illness is on its way out or will continue to linger in part of Ontario is what this group of researchers is looking into.
We're well above average this year.
They're monitoring wastewater and say they're still waiting on more data.
We might see another rise as a result of people coming together during the holiday season.
Part of the reason why this flu season is hitting hard, the vaccine isn't a perfect match to the strains circulating, though experts say vaccination would still protect against severe illness.
It has put a lot of strain on the system.
But he says go to emergency if you have difficulty breathing, extreme weakness, or if your young child has a high fever. Jennifer LaGrassa, CBC News, Toronto.
A Yukon filmmaker is producing a documentary for the National Film Board of Canada. Through it, she plans to take viewers with her as she learns to play hockey, and she'll also shine a light on the Klondike Ice Queens. George Moratis brings us that story.
There's some magic happening at this arena in Dawson City. It's where a group of women have come together to create a special hockey league.
I've been living in Dawson for 35 years and never in a million years thought I would end up playing hockey. I started playing probably about 17 years ago at the age of 40. So that's something. I don't think I could have done this anywhere else, but in Dawson, the league here is inclusive and welcoming, and you can lay it all out on the ice and feel vulnerable and improve. And I don't know, something magical about this community that allows something like this to happen.
Part of that magic are the Klondike Ice Queens. It's what's led Cliff and so many others to the sport.
And so our youngest player is 13, and our oldest player at least 65, 67, I think. So huge multi-generational group of people coming together to play this sport. I've actually asked myself this question a lot because, you know, how is this different from hockey anywhere else in Canada? But this is a town where you can make anything possible.
What started out as a dozen players playing once a week has grown to a league that is 75 strong. Now a Dawson City filmmaker is turning the lens on the Ice Queens. Yasmin Renaud is producing a 5-part bilingual documentary series for the National Film Board of Canada.
I started dreaming and scheming about making a project about the Klondike Ice Queens about 2-3 years ago. From the very beginning of me moving here, if you live in Dawson, if you spend time here, there's obviously some kind of cool community magic that happens all of the time. And to me, the Ice Queens is a big part of that.
Eventually, Renaud pitched her idea to the National Film Board.
I also felt kind of that spark with her. She was very passionate. She knew her vision. She knew the story she wanted to tell. She knew it was relevant, contemporary, important, and I really felt confident that she could take this big, beautiful project on.
This documentary isn't just about the Ice Queens. It's about Renaud's journey learning to play hockey.
The blade? They're wide enough?
Because I just find it so cumbersome wearing my shorts, my pants, and then trying. And I think it was 2 years ago that I thought, okay, I cannot spend one more winter hiding at home when it's, minus 40 out and it's dark all the time. I need an excuse to leave my house and to be social. And also the Ice Queens have like the best parties and kind of the best vibes. And I really want to be a big part of that. So.
Until recently, Renaud didn't have a lot of experience skating, let alone suiting up for a game.
Well, I will say learning to do anything as an adult is quite the task. Honestly, my first season, I would get exhausted just getting dressed. So I think kind of centering my story, my perspective as the everyman, if you will, through this project has made it a bit easier. But I'd say that my actual dream is to not panic when I immediately get the puck and just like shoot it away, to actually like take a moment and be like, okay. Though I will say, sometimes I think I'm having a great game and then I'll look back on footage and I'm like, oh man, I'm going slow. So it's definitely still humbling and still vulnerable, but ultimately I think that's a good thing. People want to see stories about people that look like them and sound like them, and they can recognize themselves in it. And I think that hopefully a lot of our audience will be able to connect with that.
Well, I think Yaz represents all of us and how we started playing hockey.
The Klondike Ice Queens 5-part documentary series is expected to air through the National Film Board of Canada sometime in 2027. George Moratis, CBC News, Dawson City.
The best hockey players in the world will soon be competing at the Olympics, but there are persistent concerns that what they'll be competing on won't be the best ice in the world. Kubina Oduro explains.
After months of uncertainty about Milan's ability to deliver an Olympic hockey arena, finally players got a test run. The reviews, far from perfect.
It was a little soft, the puck was kind of sticking, but I mean overall I think it was okay for the first few games on this new arena, and yeah, hopefully by Olympic time it'll be ready to go.
Multiple games were held to assess the quality of the ice in light of continued concerns. On Friday, a game was paused at one point when a hole formed in the ice, but organizers say that's normal.
It happens all the time in hockey matches, and it was very, very limited. And again, that was the first time the ice been used at all.
Off the ice, the arena itself has faced construction delays. Milano Cortina 2026 officials are confident seating, ice, and most hospitality areas will be finished for the games, while locker rooms and other amenities may not be complete.
I think this arena right now already shows signs to be a fantastic place for hockey or for any activities that will take place here in the future. So we're very excited to see it take its final shape.
Poke check to the line. Sidney Crosby takes off. Crosby with a breakaway. Scores!
Raising the stakes, this is the first Olympics with NHL players in more than a decade. At one point, the league threatened to pull out. The International Ice Hockey Federation says there's no reason for NHL players not to come.
We got European players, and we don't make any difference when we organize a World Championship. We want to make sure about the quality of ice, the security for the player. Doesn't matter where they come. So now I can say we're ready for the competition.
Despite concerns, Olympic events at this venue are set to go ahead, with both the men and women hoping to reach the top of the podium yet again. Cubino Duro, CBC News, Montreal.
An Iqaluit team will represent Nunavut at the National Men's Curling Championship. The team won the territorial championship over the weekend. The CBC's Mahnur Mubarak has more.
The competition was tight, but Team Samagalski won the territory's curling championship, winning 3 out of 5 games. Justin McDonnell is the team's lead. He says it's exciting to be able to represent the territory at the national level.
I feel like it's my home, so it makes me feel very proud to be able to put the Inukshuk on my back and go represent us. And I hope I make some people proud for sure.
The team did it all without a coach, and they are still looking for one now. The tournament was between 2 teams under the Iqaluit Curling Club, with Team Samagalski facing off against Team Latimer. The team says there's only one curling club in the territory, adding the last 2 to close were previously in Rankin Inlet and Cambridge Bay.
It's tough. It would be nice to have some more clubs and be able to get teams from around the territory coming, but it's just it's a challenge. It takes a lot of time and effort to maintain and operate these clubs.
The Iqaluit team is aiming to do their best to represent the territory. Derek Samagalski is the team's skip.
We're just going to have a lot of fun. We're going to work our butts off and hopefully get some wins out there, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
The national men's curling competition, the Montana's Brier, is set to take place in St. John's, Newfoundland, starting February 27th. Mahnur Mubarak, CBC News, Iqaluit.
Most people wait until summer to bike to work, but some are willing to brave it even during the winter months, especially in the Yukon. As Katrin Pilkington tells us, winter biking is something of a tradition in the Klondike.
In the early 1900s, bikes like this one were traveling up the Yukon River on their way to Dawson City.
There was this worldwide craze for bicycles because in many ways it represented freedom.
For those who couldn't afford a horse in the economic downturn of the 1890s, there were bikes. And in the Yukon, they were used to get north in search of gold. By 1901, a Skagway newspaper reported bikes had become a common sight on the White Pass.
Later on in the gold rush, it got to the point where there's actually, several journals that say like, oh, wow, bikes have become kind of a nuisance in Dawson.
Perhaps the most famous winter cyclist is Ed Jessen. In 1900, he taught himself to ride at 48 below in Dawson City. That March, he biked 1,600 kilometers to Nome, Alaska. At the Whitehorse Transportation Museum, the models of planes, trains, and automobiles take up a lot of space. I think a lot of us have this idea of the history of transportation in the North as being like planes, automobiles, like all of these gas-powered sort of different vehicles. What does it say to you that there's also this strong history of human-powered transportation?
Yeah, no, I love that. That's one of the things I love about really working here, is that we've got skis and snowshoes and boots over here and bikes. All of these things are also technology. I think we think of technology as having to have an internal combustion engine or wings that something that goes up in the air, but that really is not true at all. And these early technologies are actually the things that sometimes work the best. Have we really figured out a better way to get from point A to point B than a bike or a canoe?
Nearly 130 years later, winter biking is still popular in the Yukon, and the stories from the past certainly put the modern-day commute into perspective. Katrin Pilkington, CBC News, Whitehorse.
Salome Ava is leaving CBC after almost 3 decades of service. She started off as a reporter, and then she went on to quickly fill many, many roles, everything from producing to training and hosting. She leaves a legacy at CBC. Mahnur Mubarak is back with more.
Over her more than 27 years with CBC, Salome helped cover a number of stories. She says her most memorable work was producing a radio segment when the Queen arrived in Iqaluit. She also interviewed singer-songwriter Stompin' Tom Connors and former hockey commentator Don Cherry. She cared deeply about her work. Patrick Nagel hired her years ago and says she's basically taken on every job there is at CBC.
I think Salome would be a very difficult person to replace. I know you always say that when someone leaves, but I think that's a real truth in this area.
A large focus for Salome was the importance that she placed on Inuktitut.
From day one, I've always made this the utmost priority. Inuit must hear the news in their language. Once informed, they make better decisions in life. For example, in any election in the territory, someone may not know who to vote for, but once they are informed about the people, then they can make a sound decision on their own.
Salome worked hard during 9/11 to help Nunavummiut understand what was happening in Inuktitut. Her hard work, guidance, and impact left a mark on staff here in Iqaluit, including on video producer David Gunn.
Thanks for everything you've done for us here at the station. It's been amazing working with you over the years, learning from you, and you've been such an amazing person, and the station's going to be totally different without you. So thank you for everything you've done. It's been great to work with you, and I wish you all the best in the future. Nikolmik.
Salome is remembered for the stories she told, her sense of humor, and her care for Nunavummiut. Mahnur Mubarak, CBC News, Iqaluit.
Not every community in the north has a place where you can pop in and pick up what you need for a deal. Inuvik is lucky to have such a place, a thrift shop run by a program that hires locals who want work experience. And that shop is so full, it's beginning to send clothing to other northern communities. I learned more about the Inuvik Works program and the thrift shop it runs while I was in Inuvik last week.
Patricia, thank you so much for having us. Can you just start by telling me where we are right now?
Sure. So we're in the Next to New store, and as you can see, we have a lovely selection of clothing items here. This is the one part of the store, and in the other part of the store, we have housewares and hardware and sporting goods and crafts and decor and all that great stuff.
And this is part of the Inuvik Works program. So can you just describe what that program is for me?
Certainly. So Inuvik Works, its main goal is to create independence and some job skills in people that are struggling on their career path. So they might be underhoused, they might just be going through a rough patch in life, and just trying to get them back on track financially.
And describe how the store plays into that and what some of the jobs that people do outside of the store as well.
Yeah, so the community donates all of these lovely items, and we have jobs for the staff. They sort the items, price them, put them out on display. They box up other ones to go out to the communities. So we send some of the items. Right now, we have a charter going to Paulatuk, so we're sending 12 boxes out to Paulatuk. We're really excited about that. The other jobs, of course, is sales. So they learn customer relationships and, learning to do sales. And just displays as well. And we've had some events where they've done some preparing of snacks. And so we did a food safe course and maintaining a healthy kitchen environment. So we're upgrading our kitchen a little bit to meet some of that. And those are the basic jobs in the Next to New shop.
And then what about outside in the community as well? Because I understand there are also jobs outside of the shop.
Yes, so the Inuvik Works crew, they go out and they help the community. So if you're an elder or a person with a disability or somebody who's struggling to get a task done, the crew goes out and helps them for free. So shoveling snow, this summer they did lots of yard cleanup for elders that had stuff tucked away, I'm sure for decades. They helped them clean it up and organize it and get their yards looking nice, and the elders were so thankful for that. They also have had some contracts from businesses and individuals, and so they contract us, so they pay us to do the work, and that helps meet the gap in some of the wages that we have for the folks on the crew. So they go out and they help wherever in the community. They've been out shoveling this week in the bitter cold and been happy to do it. They dress up and they take care of themselves and look after each other as they do that.
Tell me about the impact Inuvik Works has had. It's been back for almost a year. The impact it's had in the community for community members and also for the people who are involved in it.
Yeah, so like I said, our crew members, many of them are underhoused or just in a point in their life where they're struggling a little bit. And so one of our crew members talks about how it's given him purpose and how important that is to have purpose and to be able to stay busy and be able to help the community and be outside doing things, and how that's made an impact in their lives. And for the community, the elders are so thankful. They stop in to tell me, how happy they are that the crew has come out. They phone me. They tell the crew members. The crew members do checks on some of the elders we have on our list. So daily they'll go and check in and see if they need their garbage taken out or something. And the elders are so thankful, and they tell them their little story for the day and, thank them for coming. And they just look forward to those little visits from our crew members. If you want to make Alfred joyful, bring him cheesies.
Oh yeah, I even made more cheesies. It's good to be back here again and helping people and elders and whatnot, single parents, people that need help and want help. So, as long as it snows, that's our job line. So, yeah.
As long as there's snow in Inuvik.
Yeah. And get the shovel today.
Inuvik has so many donations that they've made to us. So we're probably at 20,000 pounds since we started, very close to that right now. And so that would have all went to the landfill. So part of our initiative, of course, is to, be environmentally friendly and try and reroute and reuse some of that. And so we were so happy that we're able to ship some clothing and linens out to Paulatuck that have been donated through the community. So like I said, we've packaged up 12 boxes that are going out. And I've heard that, Paulatuck's looking for some clothing in their small community, so it's a really good match, and we hope to do some of the other communities soon as well.
We have great prices, lots of clothes, good crew, and whoever's looking for work is just put a resume and we'll do the best we could because we're doing really good.
I think we're so thankful for the community, and we're under the town of Inuvik, and without the town of Inuvik, this wouldn't have happened. Even though we're sort of our own separate identity, having that support was very important to the success of the program and all of the funding that we get. Like we get funding from here, there, and everywhere from the GNWT to CIBC and everybody in between. Like it's just from all over, so it's amazing.
Well, thank you so much for welcoming us into the store and telling us about the program and the soon-to-be expansion. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for your time and for coming to visit us.
A Labrador program that aims to help people kickstart their careers is expanding. For the first time, it's going online, so people can join from anywhere. The CBC's Heidi Adder has that story.
Claire Sainsbury signed up for the Inspire Labrador program on a whim. The 26-year-old in Happy Valley Goose Bay wanted to continue learning, but not in a university. Sainsbury says the Inspire Labrador program was life-changing.
It's like something that really helps you grow as an individual. And I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to come into an online space with people from all over Labrador and have open conversation about, just really incredible things about who we are and what we can accomplish as a people.
Sainsbury is now one of the coordinators for Inspire Labrador. The program is meant to help fill the gap between high school and starting a career in Labrador. It helps young adults under 30 develop life and business skills, and it showcases different career opportunities for their future. The program can even help someone start their own small business or launch a community project. Now it's going virtual to reach people in coastal Labrador who can't travel due to caregiving, work, or family. Roxanne Rich is a program instructor with Inspire Labrador. She says everyone has something they can do, but it can take help to find it.
You know, a lot of people, like in our last cohort, didn't realize they had a lot of the gifts that they had until, you know, we brought out some of the things, some of the tools, and we brought out some things and brought things out to them.
People can apply to Inspire Labrador online or on social media, and all participants are paid a wage to attend, so they don't have to sacrifice their income. Heidi Adder, CBC News, Happy Valley, and Goose Bay.
The sun rose for the first time this year in Cambridge Bay, Inuvik. Environment and Climate Change Canada says the sun peaked above the horizon for just under an hour today at 11:48 a.m. A dozen or so elders tried to catch the sunrise, but it was too foggy to see. They still got to enjoy the Wellness Centre's Return of the Sun feast, though. On the menu were lots of caribou and muskox stew, Arctic char, bannock, and other delights, which made up for the weather. Some of the elders say the dark months of winter don't stop them from getting out on the land, but the return of the sun means longer days of fishing and hunting. Now let's take a look at your weather. And that is Northbeat for tonight. For news anytime, go to cbc.ca/north. Thank you for watching. We leave you tonight with a look at the Inuvik drummers and dancers at the Inuvik Sunrise Festival this weekend. I'm Megan Roberts. Have a good night.